We're here a little bit early for a physical therapy appointment to get my shit in order so I can start strength training because that's part of my whole getting back to health kind of thing. We're here in Saco at the Saco Mills. But I wanted to talk to you about an epic parenting fail. Oh, that light is really unflattering. I wanted to talk to you. We're going to walk for a few minutes. So just come and walk with me for a few minutes. It's really crappy out and it might start raining. But for right now, it just feels good to be out walking. So the other night, the kiddo was in her room and she was kind of withdrawn all evening and quiet. And I went in and she seemed really upset. And, I just kind of left her alone for a little bit because sometimes that helps. And then I texted her from my bedroom. We often text. The house is big and we're at opposite ends of it and up the stairs. So sometimes we text back and forth. And she said, I'm just really, she said, I'm really sad about X, Y, and Z. And so I went downstairs and I went into her room and she was like, I don't want to talk. And I was like, okay, can I talk? Can I say some things? And she was like, yeah. But she kind of had that, like, she was like, yeah, you know that look, right? Do you have a teenager at home? You know that look. And so I started saying some things. It'll get better, that kind of stuff. And she was just like, okay, Mom, I really don't want to talk about this. And I was like, okay, I will leave you alone. And I went back upstairs and got back into bed with my book. And she texted me and she was like, I wish I could read her message to you right now and see the, and still stay recording the video, but I can't. But she said something like, Mom, you're trying to fix it and it can't be fixed right now. And I feel like you're just trying to change it and telling me it'll get better. And that's like the worst thing to hear because it's not better right now. And I'm hurting. And hearing that it will get better one day doesn't feel like, you know, you're seeing me and giving me the space for it just to like suck ass right now. And I was like, you are absolutely right. I am so sorry. I emotionally bypassed you and I tried to make it better and I skirted over how you're feeling and I tried to lead you to the part where you're feeling better, and that was really wrong, and it probably made you feel not heard and not seen, and it was just a shitty, emotionally manipulative kind of thing to do, even though it came from the best possible place. And I said, when you were little, I could make pretty much everything better. Anything that was going on for you, anything that was going wrong for you, I could make better. And it's really painful that you're at an age right now where most of what's happening for you, I can't make better. And that hurts so much. And I'm learning to not try to control that, but to be present with you and give up my control over it and try to grow to be the parent of a young adult who needs different things from me now. And the old tools that I have don't work. And they're kind of dicky when I try to apply them. And I'm trying to learn new tools. And I'm sorry. Please accept my apology. And I said, when I'm done doing the thing I have to do in a little bit, can I come down and binge watch New Girl or The Office with you for a little bit? And I won't talk, I promise. And she said, that would be awesome, Mom. Thank you. And I was thinking about this. I was thinking about how, I'm a pretty good parent, and I've been a parent for 15 years now, and I feel like I know my way around. And yet what happens is that the thing that I'm parenting, the being that I'm parenting changes and her needs change. And so my tools have to change. And in order for my tools to change, I have to grow. It's really hard to be where I am right now, where she doesn't want to spend a lot of time with me. Her problems are different. I can't solve them. She's doing things that aren't necessarily what I would choose that she do. Like, it's hard. And I'm having to really grow emotionally and spiritually and learn new tools and learn when to shut the fuck up and stop fixing things. And of course, because as my brain works, I was thinking about the application of this to my business, and to your businesses, to my clients' businesses. And it's like we get to a point where like something has worked for a bit and then it isn't working. And what it really requires, in addition to obviously learning and adding new tools to your arsenal or to your toolbox, is that you grow. Like being in relationship with something, love requires personal, emotional, and spiritual evolution. You can't love something in an evolving way without evolving and growing yourself. You just can't. You can't do it. And that really works whether you're talking about a marriage or a partnership or a relationship with a kid or your relationship with your business. You're going to have to spiritually evolve. You're going to have to grow. You're going to have to look at yourself honestly and see where you're doing something that doesn't make sense anymore, and maybe it never made sense, or see where you're doing something that's causing harm, or you're doing something that isn't having the result that you want it to. And you have to be honest with yourself, because oftentimes what that's going to mean is that you have to change. You have to change. You're at the edge of growth, at a growth edge. I'm going to get back in the car just as this guy pulls up. You're at the edge of growth, and you're going to need to grow and change and evolve in order to step into the next piece of the path. And like with my daughter, it the next piece of the path is, growing from parenting a kid to parenting a teenager to parenting a young adult. And in my business, it's been like growing from, having a business where I make a little bit of money and serve a little bit of people, to having a business where I make a lot of money and serve more and more people. And there's been a lot of like really personal, um, uncomfortable, honest growth that I've had to do. So I know I can't see your comments because I can't see them in StreamYard for some reason in the screen. But I really want to hear how you feel about this, and like what's the growth that you need next? Like where are you being called to be uncomfortable, and be really honest with yourself about where you're holding back a part of your relationship with your business, specifically, where things aren't moving the way they could, or things are getting stuck because you're being called to something new. You're being called to stretch and grow. Um, it's just, it's a ridiculously humbling way of looking at things. And I feel like whenever I'm being called to grow this way, there's like a moment or a situation where first I'm like, oh, I really screwed that up. Or like I'm really hitting a wall over and over and over again. Or I really messed something up. Or like I really didn't show up the way that I wanted to show up. And that's kind of like the beginning of like, oh, something's about to happen. I'm being invited to do something differently, to change the result I'm getting, or to change the relationship that I'm participating in. Um, and it's just, it's uncomfortable and it's humbling, but the reward is so much bigger when we take risks, the risks of being honest with ourselves and really cultivating real growth, and transformation, and looking at, where you're not showing up the way you want to be showing up, or where you're kind of failing at communicating, or like where a breakdown is happening, or where you're not being as effective. And maybe it's because the tools that you're using aren't the right tools anymore, and it's really time to change the tools or evolve the tools. So just a little musing. It was really good. I felt really good coming back to her with an apology and acknowledging that I had been bypassing her feelings and trying to make it better, and sharing with her where that came from, and then figuring out how to do it differently in a way that respected her and her feelings and her process. She didn't want to feel better last night. She wanted to sit and mope and be in it. And then we watched some New Girl and we laughed and we cuddled, and she seemed to feel a little better, but that's because she had gone through her process, not because I manipulated her feelings to make myself feel better and to make her feel better and change them. So I'm going to go into my first physical therapy session. Thanks so much for sitting out 10 minutes of this rainy day with me. And I really do want to hear your thoughts on this. And as usual, just thanks for being the wonderful you that you are.